What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Singlish podcast. It is your girl Kelsey here. And today, today I have with me one of my other friends in my community. I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about this girl because she has been a super source of strength for me in this season. And you'll hear more about our specific stories in a later episode, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself real quick, and then we'll do some housekeeping on how we met, and then we'll just jump right into today's topic. So go right ahead.
Absolutely. So hi, everybody. Those who may be seeing, because I heard you had a video for the last episode. So I don't know. That's why I put on lip gloss. But also for those that are hearing, my name is Khalifa Alexander. You can follow me on Instagram at khalifa.alex or on my business page, Cooking with Callie LLC. You can follow me on both. I'm a dark-skinned queen whose heritage rings from the illustrious Toon Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Hello.
Everyone's
Come on
favorite.
And tell the people.
And Kelsey and I have known each other since, I want to say we were 12 or 13. So we go way back. Some of y'all think y'all go way back with Kelsey. I really go way back with her. Like fresh from New York, Kelsey. All right. Just so y'all know where I'm. Just so we clear.
Just let the people know very quickly what's good, what the deal is. But yes, as she said, we've known each other since we were about 12 or 13. I met Callie at one of the first churches that we touched when I moved to Atlanta back in 2006. So that is a lot of years that we've been friends. So when I say hashtag no new friends, I mean that shit, because I have friends that's been rocking. I have friends that's been rocking with me for so many years. And that also speaks to not only my character, but hers as well. So, that definitely says a lot. So Callie, definitely thank you. For everything.
It's easy to support you. Don't get emotional on here. Don't get emotional. We got a nice, cute, fun topic that you're supposed to discuss with me today. Don't get emotional with the people.
Listen, I'm trying not to. But for today's topic, my girl Kelly and I are going to be talking about second chances, the case of the reoccurring ex. Now, this I don't know. This can't get any more juicy for me personally, but this is something that, like I said, we have to talk about this. And I always say this every episode because we do. Because the exes, they come back in full force, and we trying to understand why. So this is reason number 4. Okay, why your girl is in her singlish phase, because these exes keep popping back up. And they popping back up like a pimple on your face that you just want gone.
Yep, absolutely. They're not
like leaving. Full on gone. They're not leaving. They're not, it's just a matter of like, bruh, are you for real? Like, you dead ass right now? Like, seriously. So that's reason number 4 why your girl is in this singlish phase. These exes, they are truly exing and they're popping back up. Now, I don't know how familiar y'all are with this, but again, I always have to highlight. We're always here to encourage and entertain and of course educate. But I don't know how familiar you are with Mercury Retrograde, Callie, but that joint be fucking shit up for real, like in real life.
I have heard so many different things. I've heard about it'll mess up your electronics, your relationships, business networking, whatever, all the things. But let me tell you something. I believe I'm covered in the blood. All right. Hallelujah. I stay in my prayer closet. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a prayer warrior and I am a twerker at the same time. I do both. It's not one or the other. Both over here. All right. And because I have Caribbean heritage, twerking is secondary to whining. So it's a prayer closet, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to whine for his glory as well. Hello? Hallelujah.
My God.
Thank you. So when Hallelujah prayer comes in, I decide, Lord, let me just stay covered underneath your shelter. Let you be a fence around me every day. And he protects me, and I be leaving out of that thing unscathed. So I pray that y'all, whoever you pray to, I believe in the Trinity, but maybe you got some listeners and that's fine. Do your thing. But the Trinity be covering me. So I don't know what Mercury Retrograde ain't got nothing on 3 and 1 around these parts. Praise the Lord.
Listen, so I just want to let y'all know that this is literally the insight to Kelly and I's conversation almost every day. It's
Yes,
nothing but giggles and laughs, literally
absolutely.
lighthearted every time. So I'm glad that y'all are able to just get a piece of what our
Yeah, 'cause
conversations
sometimes
are
the full
every
thing,
day.
it would be too much.
Listen, so like Kelly said, I mean, you got to stay prayed up during Mercury retrograde, but
Yes.
um Mercury retrograde, like she said, it can mess up your romantic relationship, your family dynamics, and it
Mhm.
could just mess up your emotions in general. So I don't know if
Yeah.
y'all pay attention at all to what goes on around you, but your exes truly do come back during this particular season every time.
Mhm.
Now, again, I don't know how often you're following these things, but Mercury retrograde happens at least twice or three times for the year. So that's plenty of opportunity for them to come back into your life at some point in time. So next time, I just want y'all to pay attention the next time we're in Mercury retrograde and see what's going on. But another thing to, aside from the reoccurring X,
Mhm.
retrograde forces you to look inwards on a particular situation with yourself and or with someone. So yeah, even though the exes might come back, this is a time for you to be like, okay, do I really want to deal with them again for like a second and third time? Like,
Mhm.
is this
Mhm.
something that we really should? Is that really something that we should really be doing? So it's not all bad as far as like messing with all this other stuff, but it allows
Right.
you to also do some thinking. As far as like some self evaluation. You should be doing self evaluation anyway. Praise the Lord. But
Absolutely.
but during retrograde, during retrograde is when you should really be doing some serious soul searching. Now, I have a list here, Kelly, and I just kind of want you to
Mhm.
just give me your just a little dash. Why do you think these
Oh Lord.
exes be coming back around?
Ooh, there's so many reasons. I'll go from the super spiritual reason to just like the practical stuff. Super spiritual
Right.
reason is really seeing if you ask God for something. You say, I want something healthy for sure, for sure. I want to be healed. I want something healthy, Lord. And there's gonna be a point where you're testing your season of like, well, are you sure you want something healthy? Because that may mean you may be waiting a
That's
little bit
true.
longer. And during that wait,
Mhm.
he's gonna be like, "Well, I sent you back Johnny again, or I sent you back a Timothy or something, whoever, whatever your names are for your exes. He'll send you, he'll
Right.
send them back. Be like, are you really about what you're saying? Because you're asking me, your faithful father, to come through, and are you actually gonna stay true to your word and be like, all right, you know what, God, I'm gonna stick it out. It's hard. The other reason is just the
Right.
simple fact of the glow up. It catches the men by storm when the ladies glow up.
Mercy.
Something different happens and has happened to me every time that I've lost weight, I've changed my hair, I've started to dress better. And Kelsey in particular has seen it, but if you follow me as well on social media, you've seen, especially since I turned 30, I turned the notch all the way up on the kids. I'm not playing with none of
Period.
y'all. Foot on y'all neck, foot on the
Period.
gas. I'm driving over
Period.
y'all, okay? And when I tell you, I saw somebody the
Period.
other day that came in that I briefly dated. All of a sudden, he's liking some posts on Instagram that were posted last year. I'm like, sir, you've had more than
I beg
ample
your
time
pardon?
to see this. Hello? I know you've seen it, but you just kind of want to make sure that I can see that your name is in my notifications, and you trying to creep back in a little bit because it's not the first time. All of a sudden, I'll get a random reel sent about what you thinking, or hey, I think you would look good in this type of outfit, or hey, I
Oh
see I like your
yeah?
short haircut. I like the way your hair is laid to the side. Like that glow up be catching them. There's a spiritual piece that we know, and that glow up be the one thing for men and women. You see that man, the six pack going, he in the tailored suits now, and before he was just dressing with the Sears suit that wasn't tailored. You like, now
Have
wait a minute.
mercy.
Or you recognize now he playing better on the keys than he was before when you left for college.
Ooh.
Don't don't let it don't let it catch you slipping, my sister. Don't let the musicians
My
catch you
God.
slipping. If you know you left that thing alone because of his character, leave him alone. Okay, keep it pushing.
Listen,
And my sisters, like,
and
don't be out here. No. Don't do it. Don't
So
do it. Leave them alone.
I'm glad that you mentioned the glow up because that is one
Yeah.
thing that truly catches people by surprise is the glow up.
They be like,
You
"Ooh,
know, they're so
she's fine
accustomed to
now.
seeing
This
you.
before."
Right.
Mhm.
Right. They're so accustomed to seeing you as one way. And then the minute that you say, all right, let me work on myself, let me do my internal healing,
Yes.
let me do and
Mhm.
the internal healing is really where it starts. Okay. And again, we'll be telling
Okay.
our stories about that, at a later time.
Mhm.
But, once you say, yes, let me do my internal healing, when you say, yes, let me go ahead
Yep.
and work on the outer part of it, is when they be like, oh,
Mhm.
word? This what we doing? All right, let me holla at you real quick for the one time.
Okay.
So the glow up is definitely something that catches people by surprise. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. Um,
Man.
because niggas is
'Cause I already
watching.
know when you
Niggas
posted
is
your
for real
pic.
watching.
Yes. Yes, you be posting them pics, and I already know they be in the DMs heavy. I already know because we kiki about it. So I already know. I already know they be in the DMs. They be losing their minds, losing their minds. You got the locks, and they've lost their minds now. They have lost their minds. Like it was one thing when you had the fro
Listen,
out, and it's something about you and the locks now. The men don't know what to do. They don't know. They don't know how to act. They're like,
listen.
wait a minute, I didn't
The
know.
locks,
Okay, but
the
Kelsey
locks
was
is
always
giving what
fine.
it has to give. Hello, and tell the
Okay.
truth in Jesus' name. The locks is definitely giving shout out to the lock boss, Rashida, for hooking us sister up with these locks.
Yes.
But like I said, the glow up is something that we definitely should have touched
Mhm.
on. But I have a list of other things that I think
Ooh,
we
what are some of
should
the
kind of
things?
discuss. As far as why do we think the exes always come back around?
Mhm.
So the first thing on the list that I have, I think they come back around is because they trying to fill a void.
Oh, yes.
Because I think they realize that they truly can't get any better than you. It
Mhm.
sucks that they realize this after the fact, always late in the game. But I
Yeah.
think they realize that they truly cannot get any better than you. So I really think that,
Mhm.
they come back to try to fill that void. And sometimes I'm gonna pop my shit real quick, Callie. I think it's a
Mhm.
matter of it's really big shoes to fill. Once you guys break up,
It's
once you guys break up and,
Mhm.
you try to go into other relationships after that person, after you've broken up with that person,
Yeah.
they realize that they truly just cannot get any better than you. So it's like, all right, let me try to spin the
Mhm.
block real quick and see if I can come back to her and see what I can get. Have you seen that before
Mhm.
too?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's the space where you need to start having your boundaries. Like I know we're going to talk about internal work at it, like a different time, and that's the space where you start to put that into action. Where you're just like, look, you don't have access to me. That may mean you block some people, and if they feel mad or whatever, or if they have connections to some of your mutual friends, your family, you let your family members know, your mutual friends know, hey, me and so we not rocking no more. You don't got to update me on
Right.
their life and don't update them on my life. There's no need for you to
That
be
part.
scrolling through my pictures on Instagram and they in your presence. Cause now they're gonna be like, ooh, I didn't know Kelsey looked like this. When she get a booty? I had no idea that she looked this good in orange.
Right.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Like, okay,
Right.
I've never known Kelsey to not be beautiful. So you circling the block is like, okay, what's up? So just you have to cut off those type of ties when it comes there. Because it truly is to quote your popping your shit, it truly is, look, I understand who I am. I know what I offer. And I'm sorry that you could well, actually I'm not sorry, but we recognize you couldn't find nobody else. Now what you gonna do?
Right. And like I said, just a quick pause. Callie is like one of my biggest cheerleaders, y'all. Seriously.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
this
Every day.
girl, this girl affirms me every day of the week
Yes.
nonstop. Um
Yes.
so when I tell you the love here between the two of us are genuine and you probably could just feel that energy, I promise you that's
Absolutely.
exactly what goes on. That was a quick
Every
sidebar.
day.
Aside from that, let's go
Mhm.
back to this list. So I think they also come back out of mere boredom. Because they're not edifying themselves anyway. So
Yeah.
therefore, they're like, all right, look. I'm bored, so let me see what she up to, and let me see how I can
Mhm.
now bother her, even though she trying to move on with her life and be great.
Correct.
So I think out of
Mhm.
mere boredom is another reason why they do come back for sure. This this next one though, I have it here on my notes, and I'm just like, ooh, Kelsey, dang.
Mm.
Um, they come back because they're trying to patch up wounds that have never been healed.
Mm.
And when I wrote that, I was just like, girl, you spitting facts
Hmm.
now, because that's
Wow.
that's a lot of things that went, because, and again, I'll tell more of the meat of my story, like I said, in a later episode, but that
Mhm.
is the point where it's like, okay, you keep doing the same things and expecting different results, but that's definitely
Yeah.
putting a band-aid over an open wound, and you're not trying to let that open wound heal properly. So I think that's
Wow.
another reason why we let exes come back. And I was like, yo, that's so profound. And I wasn't even trying to be that profound. But yeah, it's like you're putting band-aids, and it's like you're putting continuous band-aids over that open wound. You know, when you're a kid and you scrape your knee, it's like, mommy, ow, and it's like,
Yeah.
put some peroxide on it. We come from a Caribbean household.
Yeah.
Put some
You
peroxide
gotta
on that
clean that
joint,
thing
let
out.
that thing heal.
Yeah.
Right, you gotta clean it out properly, you gotta let it burn a little bit, you gotta let it do its
Yeah.
thing,
Don't hurt.
put a scab on
Hurt.
top of it, so I
Yeah.
think they also come back because, you know, we as the women don't have patches, we as the women have wounds that have not been fully healed, and also for them too. Um, so I'm just like, I think that's, one reason why they come back. You have anything you wanna say to
I
that?
agree to that point. I saw, and I forgot the Instagram account, but there's an Instagram account right now, and it's a married couple. They're doing a podcast, and what they were talking about was forgiveness. And in that clip that I saw on Instagram, they mentioned, they're like, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, so I'm not getting their words exact, but they mentioned like,
Mhm,
you know, a lot of times you look to be healed by the person who hurt you. You look to be healed by the person who
mhm,
disrespected you. And that's not the place where you need to look for healing from. Like, I think the whole piece about closure messes up a lot of people when it comes to exes, because you think, okay, well, if I just have this one last conversation and I release this, then you know what, I'll be able to move on. And truly, you have to just settle within your spirit, and whoever you pray to. Now, of course, you already know what we believe in over here, but
right,
settle within
right,
your spirit, like, hey, like, you know what, I don't want to give access to this person, because that's really the trip up right there. When you talk about, like, okay, someone coming back to patch up wounds, you're trying to receive the scab that will eventually turn into, well, for us, back to melanated skin over a deep wound. So it's like you're wanting this person to help you heal, and they may not be capable of that. And you just need to go ahead, forgive yourself, forgive them, and move on accordingly. There's no time to give people this type of access because you're wanting them to help you on your healing journey. Don't put that emotional
right,
burden on anybody, past or present. Like, that's not fair to do there, and that leads a gateway for just so much additional, I feel like, trauma. Because then now I feel like you're
absolutely,
re-traumatizing yourself, bringing on somebody that's like, this is a joker. You know this is a joker. He is no good.
right,
And you're like, well, girl, I'ma just let him, let me see what he's talking about. No, you don't have to see what he's talking about. Unless I get a certified letter from the Lord,
have
no one can
mercy.
circle the block. Like,
Hello,
I tell my friends that across the board, unless God is like, hey, give my son a second chance, no one is circling the block with me. Not one of you, whether you listen to this podcast or not. Okay. You not, if you had an
right,
opportunity, it's done. The opportunity came, it went. I have forgiven you. It's no bad blood, but you don't get an opportunity to come
so
back this
long,
way
bye
again.
bye, right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Keep yourself over there wherever you are.
And I and again, I listened very intently to everyone's responses, and when you said
Mm.
emotional burden, that thing is a serious thing that again, we all need to be cognizant of, because it's like, okay,
Mhm.
you know how they every new year they post that girl taking steps on top of those
Yes,
bricks,
with the bags.
saying like, right, with the bag, saying like what she's leaving in the previous year.
Yes,
That's essentially what
girl.
we're doing when we
Mhm.
when we allow these exes to come back into our
Yeah,
lives, and number one, we have not
girl.
healed properly, and number two, they
Ugh,
haven't healed properly, and number three, it's just too much baggage. And at
too
some
much.
point that shit gonna get heavy, and I know I don't have the strength to be carrying everybody baggage, including mine. So hey,
Mm-mm.
but I did see a clip the other day where it said, everyone has baggage. Understood that. Um, you can't go through the airport and you can't go anywhere without having baggage. But so we're not,
Right.
so I want to preface by saying that we're not saying that baggage is bad, but
Correct.
we need to be aware of the burdens that we have, or the emotional burdens that we have, when we continuously have these exes
Yeah.
come back, or continue to put ourselves in situations where we're not fully healed, and
Oh,
we need to properly move on from those type of
mhm.
situations. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to drop that out there. Next thing,
Yes. Mhm.
and when I wrote this, I said, help Lord. So another reason why I think the exes come back around is because that backup plan, that 80/20
Oh.
rule, that thing backfired
Mhm.
real bad. So, I don't know how. I mean, everybody's familiar with Tyler Perry movies at this point.
Right.
But
That scene, ooh, I
he
know what you're talking about.
he definitely highlighted the hell out of the 80/20 rule,
Yes.
when he was just dogging the hell out of his wife throughout the entire
Yeah.
movie, and all it took
Mhm.
was for a man to love her properly, and for him to pretty much take care of her well-being how he should have, and that weight dropped
Mhm.
off like it was nothing. But here you go with your 20,
Yeah.
and she ain't worth not a damn. You feel me? So it's
Yeah,
like,
all she
okay,
doing is knowing how to spend money. She don't cook nothing.
hello.
She does nothing. She know how to
So I
spend money
think I
and look
think
beautiful. That's it.
right. So I think that's
Mm-mm.
another reason why, you know,
Yeah.
they come back, is because that 80/20, and that thing is for real. Like, you don't realize how much people really go through this 80/20 rule, because like, okay, yeah, you got what you call it, the first round draft pick over here
First round
on the left.
draft pick, baby.
You got
Mm.
the first round draft pick on the left, and then you got the 20 on the right, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna take the 20. But when you realize the 20 ain't worth it, that you ain't worth anything, it's like, okay, let me try to come back to the 80 real quick. And then by that time, the 80 done moved on and is living her best life, in a
He
flourishing situation that should have
still
been for her in the first place.
correct.
So I had to bring that visual, because again, that is like the most perfect depiction of the 80/20
Mhm.
rule for me, and that
Yeah.
sticks out to me more than anything.
Mhm.
Not just with the movies in general, but just life period.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize how much they rely on this 80/20. But again, I'll talk about that at a later episode. When I talk about the physical aesthetic, the 80 versus the character aesthetic 20. Uh
Oh
yeah,
Lord.
let me just have mercy. Last thing. Last reason why I think they try to come back. I just think they tired of being lonely. You know, it,
Mhm.
I
So
I
that's kind
just
of running
truly
on like
think that
the
they're
gauge of like
tired.
boredom. They're bored and they have no one
Well,
to be around. They're not used to being with themselves. Like they kind of, because I think those two can almost run in tandem with each other. They can be one or the
yes, they
other.
can.
And then I think
Yes, they can.
I feel like sometimes it's both. They get bored and they're like, dang, I don't have nobody. Or they're looking for a quick booty call. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Y'all know it.
Listen, listen.
Don't let's
This
not sit
the
out
them
here and
booty
play these
calls
games.
Right.
It's
The
getting a
booty
lot of y'all
call is
in
what be
trouble.
catching these folks. Hello? Hello? It's getting
It's
a
getting a
whole
lot
bunch
of
of folk
you.
in trouble.
A lot of you.
So those
You
are
still got these
the
people, your close friends on the IG. Take him out of there. He don't need to see you out here dressed in your finery. She don't need to see you out here dressed in your finery. Cause then you mad
not
that
dressing your
they looping
finery.
around. Look. That's what y'all. I know because
She's
I be seeing it. I see what y'all do. And then you be up
I
in the Instagram
can't.
like, oh, he out here. Cause you have him in there. That's how. No,
Have
block their
mercy.
view of all that. Block their view of all
Oh
that. Let them be
my.
lonely and bored by themselves. Okay? Tell them no. And I know it's hard. Let me not act like it's easy. I've gotten to this space because of the
Right.
work. Okay? Like, it ain't easy. I ain't go out here like tell y'all, girl, just block this man. That's it. Or my dude, just don't even worry about her. It's not easy. We not gonna sit here and act like you can just press delete. It's easy for me now. but not back
Listen.
then. When I first started out, girl. I was getting tripped up.
Stuff like that takes real practice and
It does.
um w- what I want you to take away from this entire podcast as we continue on is that all of this stuff takes work to really
Yeah.
uh be disciplined enough to say, all right, I noticed these things, I'm not going to continue, and
Mhm.
vice versa. And
Yeah.
now that I said discipline, to the next point that I wanted to make in regards to this thing is that, um and this is what you just said this as well, we just have to be disciplined enough to make sure that they remain an X and they stay
Yeah.
within those boundaries and parameters that we've set to say, okay, look, you've had
Mhm.
this level of access to me before, so I am not going to allow you that space again, and like I
Absolutely.
said, you said it so perfect, as far as, you have to put in that work and you have to make sure that you are diligent in doing that work,
Mhm.
because it's easy for us to get caught up, and it's very easy for us to slip up, in these types
Yeah.
of situations, especially because it's something that we're familiar with. Like, it's very easy for us to go backwards because, hey, we've been there before, or, this is what we know. And who wants to learn new people? Who wants to learn new things? Who wants to be in a new
Mhm.
environment? So it's very easy for us to, go backwards instead of going forward. So we have to make sure that we're super, super disciplined enough to make sure that we are not repeating the same cycles and letting these exes come back, like we ain't got no
Yeah.
sense over here. Um, so
And it's
now
okay.
that we've
Like, I
gone
mean, there
through,
extend grace. Extend grace to yourself.
mm-hmm,
Like, this is not a yourself type of podcast ever. Extend grace to yourself.
absolutely,
Like, get it. Some
absolutely,
things have occurred. You have some deep emotional connections to some people. Let's at least try to make some effort into like, I don't need to be around this anymore. Let me let me get out of this
right.
situation. Let me not allow space for that. So absolutely, I agree with all your points for sure.
And then, especially with the extending grace, we talked about this in the last episode, as far as like, learning how to unlearn certain habits and, forgive yourself for certain behaviors. Um, you know, Definitely extending grace to other people and even to yourself, is something that, like I said, I
Yes.
know that I'm continuously working on. And that's just a process that we're forever going through. It's going to continue to be a revolving door when it comes to extending grace and learning how to, go easy on yourself in certain situations, um, as it relates to these type of topics. So
Yeah.
now to the juiciest
Uh
part of these episodes.
oh.
We're moving on to the
This is
segment
story.
of the story drop. This is the story drop. You know the deal. So we're going into
I
our
already know.
story time. You already know we're going into our story time. So, sis, go ahead and make this story good. Make it good. Because I'm going to
Ooh.
give my story after, but I want you to give your story. And I want you to make it real good.
So I was actually dating someone. I started dating him when I want to say 20. I'd recently come back home. I spent a year abroad in Spain. So I'd come back home from Spain. I'd met this gentleman. I was like, oh, okay. Like, hey, like, everyone loves the older men. And he was significantly older. He still is because he's not deceased. He is significantly older than me to this day. He's not like an old fart. He keeps himself well in shape and everything. Good looking
She said, "Oh,
guy.
fart." My gosh.
He's not an old fart. He keeps himself up. And he already came with the attachment of a child. I knew that. He was
Mhm.
upfront about that. Like, hey, I've got a son. This is my thing I got going. I said, no problem. He's an entrepreneur. Perfect. That's no problem. He was doing a rebrand of his business. And if you know me, just like what Kelsey's saying about self-affirming, that is my true nature. That is who I am. So I link up with this guy.
Right.
He lets me know because in an attempt to be honest, put the air quotes on it, in an attempt to be honest, he was like,
Have
some of my
mercy.
exes, they try to hit me up and, they be asking me to date them again, but I tell them that I'm with you and I love you and
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to build a future with you and you mean everything to me and I want to make sure that I make enough money so that you never
Mm-mm.
have to work anymore. You can be at home and do what you want to do, which
Oh
sounds
my.
great to me because I love
Right.
the traditional, like, I'm gonna cook and clean, take care of the household, and my man gonna make all the money. I'm working now because that's just how life has dealt these cards. But if the Lord see
Exactly.
fit, I never have to work a day again. I'm gonna take that. So cool. I was buying into it.
Right.
Great. Going well. He's telling me these women are contacting me and he's letting me know honestly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Of course I found out that he cheated on me. Of course. And I told him, I said, hey, I am not like these other women that you've had in your life where I will allow you to keep coming back and you get access to me and we'll be out here coming back and forth every couple of months. You're going to be cycling. I'm like, I'm not that. Once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. And I'm so for real. And he's like, nah, man, I don't think so. He was telling me, he's like, it got really, really bad because he told me, he's like, I'm going to be, I'm going to tell everybody who you really are because at the time, which most people don't
Not
know,
him
but I'm
trying to
expressive,
tarnish
right?
your character.
Most definitely. All the people who you really are, all the sexual things that you really like to do. And let me tell you something.
Oh
That's when I was like,
my.
oh, hold on. Let me. That's why I'm so free with saying I'm in the prayer closet and I like to shake my behind. So it's okay. We can be in the prayer closet and take a shot of tequila. Like, I'm not going to sit here anymore and try to let you create a narrative for me out there. I'm going to let the people know honestly and transparently, here is who I am. So you're not going to get control of this
Right.
narrative and try to act like Khalifa is showing y'all one thing and this is who she really is. No, 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 no. The
Right.
people know about me. They just like, I don't like that. So he started on that vein. And I said, I'm done with you. You're blocked. When I tell you this man
Mercy.
created new Facebook profiles, new Gmails, oh yes, I was blocking Gmail accounts. Let me tell you something. When I am done with someone and I am blocking access to you, I am thorough with it. You will have to send a
Listen.
carrier pigeon to get a hold of me.
She said a
You
carrier
will have to
pigeon.
send a carrier pigeon to get a hold of me because it is only through that
My.
method that you will be able to get me. I'm blocking you on the WhatsApp that you have or haven't created. I'm blocking you on
The
Instagram.
WhatsApp.
I'm blocking you on Facebook. I'm blocking you on LinkedIn. I'm blocking you on
Mercy.
YouTube, your YouTube channel. If you got a YouTube channel, I'm blocking YouTube channels. I'm blocking Gmail. I'm letting Gmail know this person is spam. Go ahead and block them out of my Gmail. He was trying every which way to come into my life. He was not, because he knew that I said, once I'm done, I'm done. The other day,
Right.
and when I say other day, I do mean like 2 years ago, there was a day that I met a particular gentleman. And at the same time that I met a particular gentleman, he contacted me on that same day. And it was a new
My.
Facebook account, a new one. He's like, hey, Cal, I want to let you know that, like, I'm a multimillionaire right now and I got all this money. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
entice you with the monies.
Okay. I was like, I don't really need all that. Now, I was in a low space, so I ain't gonna hold y'all. I bit the bait. I got taken out to dinner, little wine and dine, did my thing. And I recognized after like 2 months of us like kind of kicking it, I'm like, oh, you really still not who I want. Like, for real, for real. You not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a bounce. And when I was like, I'm a bounce, it's you upset again. And I'm like, I told you, unless I want to give you access, you don't get it. So I gave you
Right.
a little piece for a little bit. And now you think you're fully back. Sir, immediately no. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I said, if you want to get froggy and leap and start defaming character in the public, those millions that you've acquired will be mine. Now,
Have
I
mercy.
personally
Try to
like to
play with
keep
it
a
if you
few
want
lawyer
to.
friends in the back. Right. Let me tell you something. I'm not the one to, I don't play these games. If you want to talk about defaming my character and throwing things out there, I got too much to lose. I will quickly call my lawyer friends up and you will get a cease and desist in the mail, or we can head to court and you can start paying me for damages. So you pick which one. You want your pockets to hurt, or you want to just go ahead and leave me alone? Go ahead and leave me
Right.
alone, or else your pockets gonna hurt. I'm gonna bleed them dry. Don't, like, I've got too much to lose at this point in my life. I don't have time. If you want to come out here and be doing things, he don't know where I am right now, and I hope that he never knows. And if he does figure it out,
Right.
he can't do nothing. You wanna start acting froggy and leaping? Great. So it sounds like you want an arrest record again. That's what it
Have
sounds like.
mercy.
That's what it seems like. You
Again?
want to be my sister. That's what I said. It sounds like you want to be arrested again. That's what it sounds like. So
Mm-mm.
if that's the type of energy that you want, that's what you're gonna get. And I hope that that man
Right.
stays as blessed with his millions and his children and his harem of women, because he ain't ever gonna commit to one person. And I hope that he gets the healing that he desires. But it ain't over here with me. Ever.
My God.
No time, no way,
It's
shape, or
the
form.
it's the blocking it's the blocking of the Gmails for me. I ain't never heard no shit like that.
Oh yeah. I gotta block Gmails. I think the type of men that I deal with are like similar in nature in regards to, like, they are very thorough and trying to get in contact with me. So I'm like, let me be thorough in blocking you. Don't worry. I got you. Oh, you want to send an email? Blocked. You want to create another
Let me
email
go ahead
address?
and yeah.
Blocked again.
Let me go ahead and cover
You
all
want to
these
click me on
bases for the
Facebook
one
pages?
time.
Block, 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 block. I'm a thorough block. I will run down a whole list for y'all of everywhere that you should block, because then this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, oh well, I blocked them everywhere. Did you? Because how he get you on
Did
LinkedIn?
you really
How?
though? Right.
How he get you on LinkedIn? How?
Oh my
No, Instagram has
goodness.
this wonderful feature. You can block this person's current page and future pages that they will make with the
And future
same email.
accounts. Yup.
Block all
That
the
part.
accounts. All of
That
them.
part.
Instagram
Yep.
knows, block all of them. And if they create another account with a new email, same business. I'm not giving you
Yeah.
no more. I gave you a little leeway this one time when I was like, dang, but I do kind of miss throwing my ass back. Okay, hold on. And
You
then I
know
was like,
what?
I'm back with the Lord. For real, for real. I'm back with him. You don't deserve me.
Listen.
Let me get out of
Listen.
here.
So I'm over here trying to process your story, but you know, aside from that, like I wow. So all right. So with my particular story as far as spinning the block, and I think I told
Mm-hmm.
you this already too. Um eh, like I said, I'm going to talk about, you know, the true meat of my healing in another episode, but I was in like the crux of it, like literally what felt like the crux of it. And I had an ex. He wasn't really an ex, but we talked, so I would consider him an ex to a degree. And
Sure.
he came back and was like, you know, hey, I'm close to the city now. You know, I'm not where I was when I, you know, last told you. Like, I'm more closer now. We should link up.
Mm-hmm.
We should, you know, we should do it. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, I'm not taking trips to wherever you at right now. So unless you plan on coming to the city, let's roll. So aside from all that, I was like, okay, wait a second. First of all, why are you talking to me? Because the last time I checked, you was in a whole relationship just the other day. And that's how I be knowing that they trying to spin the block. Because when I see that you all lovey-dovey on the ground, and on other social media platforms, and then all of a sudden you want to come try to talk to me, that's how I know you fibbing and you lying. Cause that's how
Mm-mm.
I know that you trying to spin the block. Cause you know what happened to you being all lovey dovey? Well, you was just doing that like
Okay.
last week. Okay.
Hmm.
So I said that to him. I said, you know, well, was you just in a relationship, you know, and all that great jazz? And he was like, you know, well, no, and all this other stuff. So I was like, all right, cool. So then he starts asking a lot of personal questions. You know, trying to see if he can get me to do things that I used to do back before I got for real saved. Amen. And
Hallelujah.
again, I'm like Callie. Ain't nothing wrong. Y'all know me. I like to, I love Jesus, I love soca, and I also love to shake my ass too. Amen.
Well,
Um, and y'all know this about me. And again, we are just truly unapologetic about who we are, which
absolutely.
I truly love that about us. But he tried to ask me personal questions that would get me to do things or allude to do things that I used to do, before I started this whole journey. And I was like, sir, why is that any of your business? Oh, I'm trying to see if you staying true to what you're saying. Sir, have a blessed day. Go ahead and spin the block somewhere else. And come up my inbox and my text messages. Have a blessed day. And we hit block. But you see, I'm Princess Petty though. I'm gonna let you see the glow up on Instagram though. So
Oh
you're
yeah.
gonna have to pray for me with that. You're gonna have to pray for me with that. That's one of my toxic traits. But
You're gonna have to come from a
yeah, I was
secret account, not your real one. You're gonna have to come from a secret account
listen,
with me.
listen.
You're gonna have
So,
to watch from one of the sex
aside
spot accounts.
from not the sex spots. Yeah, but aside from all of that, like I said, we have gone through clearly some serious situations, and we've seen some reoccurring exes. And
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't be me if I did not give you any advice or if I didn't give you any
Mhm.
steps on what to do in these types of situations. So my only advice in this situation is have the discipline to understand when they're coming back, the reasons why they're coming back, and also have the discipline to know when to say no and stay saying no, because
Yeah.
you're going to continue to get yourself caught up in these situations and you're going to expect different results and you're not going to get different results. So just continue to have the
Absolutely.
discipline to understand when they coming back, why they coming back, and how they can continue to leave you the fuck alone. Long story short.
And have
Um,
a healthy accountability partner as well. Like have someone to trust that
yes,
you can talk to that's going to be able to talk you off the ledge. Like I know we are that for one
yes,
another where it's like, hey, like have someone that
absolutely.
you can confide in and say, look, sis, I am having a tough moment. I'm trying, if you are like me, where you're trying to maintain abstinence, it can be hard when the real fine
Hmm.
ex comes back and it's like, well, hold on.
Hello,
Wait a minute, God.
hello.
It's been a minute. I'm trying to stay in your will with it. I'm trying to live the righteous life, my father. But I don't know. I'm about to go off of this end. Like, have someone that you can truly speak to and be honest and say, you know what? I'm having a low moment. I don't feel like waiting on God's promises today. Let me go have some temporary gratification with this person, or let them be my, in
Right,
the meantime, in between time type of person until I get my real thing. Have those types of conversations, because I think into everything that you said, being able to have, whether it's one or two people, or if you are great, like if you have a community of people that can do it for you, that's
girl.
also wonderful to be able. I can turn to some individuals and they're not gonna judge me. They're not gonna make me feel stupid. They're gonna be like, sis, I know that
Absolutely.
your feelings are real, but just go ahead and press block. I don't even respond to that, man. Press block. Go ahead and delete the thread after you press block. Or delete the thread altogether. Like if it's an unknown number and you kind of know that it's him, because that's the next thing that my ex used to do. He used to just start getting new Google Voice numbers or just new numbers in general. And I would just,
What?
there was this man was stressed about me, and I get it because it's me. But at the same time, it's like, sir, you too old.
Period.
You too old for this.
Right.
I get it, like, because it's me. I understand. I would be pressed about me too. Like, I understand. If I were
Right.
you, I would want it out on me. But it's like at some point you have to have people around you say, look, sis, he contacted me again. Girl, delete that man number. Block
Mhm.
him. Mm-mm. Sis, get off Instagram for the day. No, maybe you, don't do that. Mm-mm. Go ahead,
So
have those
when
people. And
so
I think that
when so
makes
in
such a
that
difference.
so in that pilot episode when I said community matters, I really was referring to Khalifa being one of the community members. Um, you know, that is no like and I mean I mean this in the most sincere way, as far as like, making sure that you have those accountability people or person to
Yes.
talk to in these
Mm-hmm.
moments. Because these exes, they could smell blood and they will come and catch you at your lowest point.
Amen.
So have the discipline enough to say no, have the discipline to say, listen, I'm past this now. and I'm taking the necessary steps to not only want better for myself, but also do better for myself. So
Yeah.
definitely, like I said, my advice would be have the discipline to just know when to push that stop button with that returning
Yes.
X. So
Woof.
again, thank you so much, Callie, for joining me on this episode, girl. This was
Hello.
great. I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of this. So Callie did give her handles in the beginning, so definitely go ahead and follow her on those
Yeah,
platforms. Again, guys,
absolutely.
as I always say, be singlish and own it. And guys, just
Yeah.
go be great. Just go be great.